There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
Sunday morning. What time is it? 12:51. Once again, Canelo Alvarez defends 3 of his belts. He's no longer undisputed, for those that don't know, but it was a dominant performance. Welcome to the show. Got some people in here. I love it, man. Late on a Saturday / Sunday morning. The pay-per-view just ended. Thankfully, I didn't pay for it, but I did watch it. So anybody's out there, I'm going to drop a link. We can talk some boxing. You saw the odds for the Canelo fight, Berlanga. There's no shock to what happened. I think Berlanga fought tough, but Berlanga was not ready for the fight. I thought he was going to get knocked out. He didn't. He is tough. But he had no idea how to beat Canelo Alvarez, and he wasn't good enough to beat Canelo Alvarez in any way. Punching power, ring generalship, boxing-wise, he's just not on his level. And that's what we saw. He fought a tough fight, but Canelo was dominant. I thought Canelo maybe lost 1 round. One of the judges gave Berlanga 3 rounds. I thought it was 120 to 107. Thought you could have given Berlanga 1 round, but regardless, Berlanga is tough, but he had no idea how to win the fight. And some fights are just easy to predict, right? I mean, you just look at it. For the people that thought Berlanga was going to win, they did it with hope. That was their guy, and they hoped he would win. He never showed anything. He never fought anyone on Canelo's level. And when he stepped up his competition, he showed that he was not a Mike Tyson-esque power puncher. But so be it. See Perception Music, nice fight. Was it entertaining? I thought it was. That 3rd round was a beautiful left hook by Canelo. Beautiful left hook by Canelo. And I do give Berlanga credit because he lasted the 12. I thought at no point was he in the fight. At no point did he have a shot to win. And remember that Berlanga was a handpicked opponent. Canelo decided to give him a shot because that's what he does. He doesn't give it to guys who earn it because Berlanga didn't earn it. He handpicked him. Look at Jay Thizzle. Another handpicked opponent, Munguia and now Berlanga. Is anyone surprised with the outcome? No. And that was my point. You took the words out of my mouth. He was handpicked. Munguia, I think, is a much better fighter than Berlanga. I mean, Canelo was very gracious at the end. I don't think Berlanga ever wins a belt at 168, but who knows? The division could get, Canelo might retire and might move up. And then there's some openings, but I don't think Berlanga does not beat Jaime Munguia. Undercard. Some people were picking Trevor McCumbee over Caleb Plant. I wasn't shocked by what happened. McCumbee was tough. But again, he's another guy that never fought anyone. And Caleb Plant looked sharp. I think what surprised me most of all in that fight, it was brilliant by Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant is not a pressure fighter. And Caleb Plant just bullied McCumbee on the inside and fought in the pocket toe-to-toe and leaned on him and used angles. And McCumbee did not know what to do. He didn't know what to do. And Plant took him apart. I thought it was a good stoppage. He was hurt, and if he would have come out for the next round, I think it would have been a devastating knockout. So, Erislandy Lara and Danny Garcia. I was rooting for Garcia, but this was a hard fight to pick. I mean, he just didn't look like he wanted to be in there. And that knockdown, I'll never say Danny Garcia quit, but he'd never been down before in his life. And he went down, and it was such a weird knockdown. And then his dad stopped the fight. I don't see any reason why he should keep fighting because he doesn't really want to fight anymore. I've said this before. I was in Danny Garcia's camp before the Spence fight, and he's made a lot of money. He's got a great family. I love his father. done very well with his money. I noticed in the Spence fight, in the Spence camp, everything was half speed. All his training, all of it, the sparring, everything, and he fought the fight half speed. He doesn't have the hunger anymore. He doesn't. He's had a really good career. He had some big wins, but those big wins, I don't have his record in front of me, but those big wins were a long, long time ago. And actually, um, let's look at Danny Garcia's record. Again, he hasn't fought in 2 years. So, and that was against Jose Benavidez. And then it was 2 years before that fight, 2 years from his last fight, Errol Spence, which was not competitive. He lost to Sean Porter. He lost to Keith Thurman. His last big win, you have to go back to Lucas Matisse in 2013. So, yeah, Do Bud would have stopped Berlanga. I don't know, man. I mean, they do have weight classes for a reason, and I'm not a big Berlanga believer. But Do, I don't know. Why are we even talking about Bud? This is Canelo. Bud wouldn't stop Canelo. I'll tell you that. But yeah, Danny Garcia, champ at 140, champ at 147, lost most of his big fights, has some great wins on his record. Fought a faded Zab Judah, faded Eric Morales. That big win against Amir Khan. All right, man. I mean, go ahead. Whatever, man. I just disagree. I see nothing that says you're hoping he would beat him. I get it. It's not based on fact. I mean, he fought at 154 and he had a tough fight against Madrimov in his last fight. He had a tough fight. Look, I get it, man. I'm a Bud fan too, but I'm also realistic. And they do have weight classes for a reason. They fight at 168. I'll tell you what. I think Bud beats Canelo if they fight at 154. I'll give you that. Yeah, that's what Canelo does. SWN up. That's what he does. And it's bullshit that he does it. But boxing is going to let him get away with it. What I'm shocked is that someone actually stripped Canelo. You know, somebody actually stripped him. So he only has 3 belts. Jay, there's a Bud is skillful, but it's good body handling the way that is. Yeah, that's why. I mean, skill for skill right now, yeah. But I think Bud is the more skillful fighter. But I just don't think he can fight at 168. He can't. I don't think he can beat Canelo. But I don't. It could happen because Canelo is handpicking guys, and he's not fighting guys who have earned the title shot. Edgar Berlanga did not earn the title shot. Edgar Berlanga has knocked out one guy in his last 6 opponents. And I had never seen that guy fight. And based on that, he gets a shot. He's not ranked in the top 10 by all the organizations, but the organizations are full of shit anyway. So yeah, man, he handpicks. This is what Canelo does, and he's going to keep doing this till he keeps getting stripped. Eventually, the WBC will never strip him. They'll never strip him. Canelo will pass away and still be WBC champ. So there's no doubt that he's handpicking opponents, but it is what it is, man. Boxing lets him get away with it, and he handpicked Edgar Berlanga, and Edgar Berlanga was not ready, and I didn't think he won a round in that fight. So another handpicked opponent, a money grab from the casual boxing fans. Yeah, it was a look. That place was packed. It doesn't matter now who Canelo fights. They're gonna come and see him fight. But yeah, this one, you saw the odds. I mean, I made the same prediction everyone else made, although I thought Canelo was going to stop him. This was an easy fight to pick. So not all fights are easy, and some fighters surprise you and they show you things that you didn't think they had. I didn't think Berlanga's punching power was going to bother Canelo. I didn't think he could box well enough. He just didn't have the experience. And then the fight started, and that's exactly what happened. He didn't have the power. He didn't have the defense. He didn't have the offense. He didn't have the ring intelligence. He had no idea how to win that fight because he had never been through anything remotely close to Canelo. But you got to take the fight. Like, you have to take it. So I don't blame him and his team for taking it. They got a lot of money. He got experience. I don't think that he showed he could be a champion. I don't think he beat Jaime Munguia at 168. I don't think he can beat Munguia. Matter of fact, looking at the rankings, I don't think he just Berlanga, and I give him credit, man, because he stood in there and took the punishment. That's about all he did, though. He took punishment. So he just got waxed by Canelo. Christian Mbili, I think, destroys him. Jaime Munguia destroys him. Diego Pacheco probably beats him. Derevianchenko, maybe he beats Derevianchenko, but that's not a given. That's not a given. He's not beating Caleb Plant. So Edgar Berlanga, to be a champion, he has to improve. He has to improve a lot. People think because Majimov only has 10 fights, he's not tough, but fail to realize he had a belt at 154 with those 10 fights. Oh, no doubt. I mean, nobody's knocking Majimov. Majimov gave Bud a good fight. I thought Bud won it, but he gave him a good fight. That was it's tough, man, to move up. Unless you're Manny Pacquiao back in the day, who kept moving up and took his power with him. It's tough to move up to new weight classes. It just is. Ask Benavidez and David Morrell, who both moved up to 175, and they struggled. Ethan Letter, clearly Canelo should not be holding belts hostage and will never fight David Benavidez, but nothing we can do. Berlanga versus Munguia. Who wins? Munguia smokes Berlanga. This is old talk, you know. Boxing lets him hold the belts hostage. And so, and shout out to the IBF, even though I hate all boxing organizations. Shout out to the IBF. Shout out to the IBF. I'm going to drop the link, brother. It's coming. Shout out to the IBF for stripping Canelo and doing the right thing. But nobody else is gonna strip him. So let me get this link in. So get some thoughts. Not shocking. I think Trevor McCumbee, I did like the pace and the fact that the main event got in the ring. It was like 11:30 East Coast. That was a beautiful thing. I did not see the undercard fights. I know that Stephen Fulton struggled, and Rowley won. But that first fight, the McCumbee Plant fight was entertaining, and McCumbee tried. He was once, I remember years ago when he was coming up, and people were really hyping him, and then he had PED issues, and he was out for like 4 years. So he got that sweet stash, though. He's got like the 70s porn stash and the weird haircut. He did his best, but he clearly you get in the ring with Caleb Plant, former champ, you got to come with something. And Caleb, again, it was watching him fight the way he did, crowding McCumbee on the inside, and McCumbee did nothing. And he just laid on the ropes and he did nothing. And Caleb Plant was just going to the body and just was beating McCumbee down. And I think it was a good stoppage. I don't think anyone had a problem with the stoppage. Canelo won. That's crazy. So I got the link in there. So if anybody wants to talk about the card, I did not see. I did not see the undercard. Perceptions, music coming to the stage. What's going on, brother?
Can you hear me all right?
I can't hear you. I don't know if your mic is on. Check your mic. Yeah, I can't hear you. David Wilson the second. What's up, brother?
What's up, George?
Nothing, man.
It's been a minute, man.
I know. Listen, I didn't do I just got caught up and I wasn't doing lives and but look, we're here now and I know you watched the card.
Yeah, I did.
Hey, let me ask you though, did you pay for it? And I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble. I didn't pay for it. Did you pay $90 to see that?
I didn't pay because I went to someone's house, so I didn't pay.
Okay.
I was at a church event all day from 10 to about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then I dropped one of my church members off at home. So I didn't get home till the fifth or sixth round. I think it was the sixth round with Caleb. Was that's when Sweet Hands came out. That's from what I'm hearing. So I'm in a group chat with a couple buddies for boxing, and they were saying, they were like, oh, Caleb getting dropped. He's about to get knocked out. And then I was like, what? Sweet Hands? And then I came home, I got to the location at the sixth round, and I started to see Sweet Hands be Sweet Hands. So
yeah, he got knocked down, but he got hit on the shoulder. Mm-hmm. And he went down, so it was an official knockdown, but he wasn't hurt. Mukambi tried, but he just wasn't good enough. And when Caleb, I never saw Caleb fight like that. I mean, he was crowding the guy, and he just took him apart. He just took him apart. I thought Plant looked good.
Yeah. From what I saw, I mean, and Mukambi was he was fighting back from the sixth all the way up until they stopped the fight. But again, it just seemed like Caleb was he was landing those shots inside. Even he was punching them through the guard. He was just getting through. Yeah. Mukambi wasn't really giving him much after that. After a short fury from Plant. So I mean, if I was a referee and I kept seeing that round after round and it kept getting worse because it kept progressively getting worse once he remained on the rope. So yeah, I mean, I think it was a good stoppage because otherwise Plant was about to put that boy to sleep. So
he was. I mean, he was. If they let it go, that 10th round would have been brutal. But Mukambi, he's another guy. I remember him like years ago, and he was unbeaten, and there was a lot of hype around him, and then he just dropped out, and it was because he had PED problems. I think he had injuries, but. Like I get it. You got to take the shot. Like you got a former champ, Caleb Plant. You win the fight, it's going to lead to something. But he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. Just like Berlanga. Berlanga. That was an easy one to call because he was handpicked. He wasn't ready. He had nothing except size to give Canelo. And I thought Berlanga won maybe one round, but. It's tough, man. When you're not prepared, sometimes fighters do things you didn't expect, you didn't know they could do. But that didn't happen tonight with Mukambi, and it didn't happen with Berlanga.
Yeah, I didn't see the first 6 rounds of the Mukambi fight. I saw everything else after the 6th round and the David Garcia fight, Lara fight. But I will say, in regards to the Canelo and Berlanga fight, I will say this. I was telling the people I was watching the fight with, they came out with a bad game plan from the jump, or either they had a good game plan and Berlanga just chose to go away from it. But ain't no way that I'm the longer fighter, and I'm not using my legs at all in that ring. I'm just saying there was no movement from Berlanga. Berlanga was standing right in front of Canelo the entire fight. I mean, literally. I mean, that is Berlanga fought a fight tailor-made for Canelo. Standing right in front of me. Oh, you're not gonna move your head and get off the line? Oh, you gonna lean on the ropes and let me pound like beat you down? Oh, come on now.
But I didn't expect anything different. You remember when Berlanga came up, he was knocking all those guys out and won. Yeah. And then when the competition got better, he stopped knocking guys out. Right. He was still winning, but he stopped knocking guys out.
Right.
He's never shown. He said he was going to jab like Bivol, and everyone knew he wasn't going to do that because he just doesn't have that good of a jab. He didn't have a game plan because he didn't know how to win. I think he had hope. He said, well, I'm younger and I'm bigger and I'm stronger, and Canelo's slipping. I think he went in with a lot of hope. It's different, man, when you get in a ring with a guy like Canelo, and I mean, Canelo out jabbed him all night, and the body shots and that left hook is just, it's still vicious. And he didn't know how to win the fight. He just, look at his record. He's fought no one. He's fought no one. So, they talk about him, you know, and Canelo was being gracious, and the announcers were being gracious, saying Berlanga is going to be a future champ. Nah. I don't see it.
Nah. Who's he going to beat?
Even with 4 belts, I don't see it.
Yeah, who's he going to beat? I mean, I was playing matchmaker in my boxing chat. You know, you made all great points. You know, Berlanga, he doesn't have footwork. He stands in front of the fighter. He didn't use a jab.
His power also isn't. It was almost mythical after those first 16 fights. He doesn't have that insane power that people thought he did. He doesn't.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if he could make 160, what he could do there, because at 168,
I think he's probably too big for like, he's not. I don't think he's 27. Like, he's not going down. I could see him going up, but he's got a lot to work on. I don't see him being champ at 168. He can't beat. There's like, you could name 4 or 5 guys that I don't think he could beat. I think he might beat Derevianchenko, but that would be a tough fight. But that's but
that would be a good fight though, because even though Dechenko, even though he got robbed in his last fight, he showed. Wait, is that the one he won, or is that the Ukrainian that got robbed from the last card?
No, Derevianchenko, he's the guy that fought Munguia last year. It was like one of the fights of the year. And he was beating Munguia, and Munguia had a 12th round knockdown, and that was the fight that got him the Canelo title shot. Derevianchenko, like, he fought Triple G. I thought he beat Triple G at 160 a few years ago, but he's older. But I don't see it, man. I don't see Berlanga being champ, but you know, you got to take, if Canelo handpicks you like he did, you got to take it. You got to take it.
And I was just saying this earlier, man. Like, if I'm Canelo, I'll be honest with you. If I see David Benavidez as the pound for pound best fighter in the division, I'm gonna be honest with you, George. If I'm Canelo, I mean, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. I'm gonna pick off these other guys. If I'm guaranteed $30 million every single fight, right? No matter if we sell out the arena, no matter how the pay-per-views do. I'm going to fight everybody around David Benavidez. I'm gonna get every single check before I actually, if there's a possibility of me losing the crown, I'm gonna fight everybody else around it. I mean, he's running out of fighters at this point. If I'm a supporter of Canelo, which I am, I'm not a hater of Canelo. I do just want him to just fight David Benavidez. I think that's a 50-50 fight, in my opinion. I don't think that David Benavidez is just going to walk down Canelo, come in there and dog and make it. And it's not going to be easy. I think Canelo hasn't been knocked down in over a decade for a reason. He has a chin, and he's well respected. And so David Benavidez is not going to have an easy time with Canelo. If he does, my jaw would drop, similar to how easily Crawford beat Spence. I picked Crawford for that fight, but I didn't think it was going to be that easy.
I don't think anyone, like, I don't know, man. If anyone said it was going to be that easy, like, I think they were lying, because I thought it was 50-50 too. I was leaning towards Crawford, but it wasn't even competitive.
Not at all.
It wasn't competitive.
Yeah.
And look, the IBF stripped Canelo, which, you know, good for them, but nobody else is going to strip him. The WBC will never strip him. So, he probably, my guess is he fights Christian Mbili next. That's what I think is going to happen. I haven't heard any talk about who's next, but I don't think he and David Benavidez ever fight. And Benavidez has said he's staying at 175, which could be a mistake. And it's too bad because that's a fight that everybody wants to see, but Canelo obviously doesn't want to make it. And people talk about him holding the belts hostage. At least one organization, and all these organizations suck. They're all garbage, but at least one stripped him.
Yeah.
Berlanga isn't even ranked in all the organizations. Forget talking about them. Canelo will always be WBC champ. They'll never strip him. But I can't really say I'm super excited about who he's going to fight next. And people are talking about Bud. Maybe he does. Maybe he does fight Bud. I mean, he had said no, but I think recently he said he would. I don't know, man. But I'm not excited.
That's because Turk Sheed is willing to pay for that fight. Honestly, I love Bud, and I want to see him become a undisputed champion 154. I think that'll be cool to see in my lifetime. But at the same time, I don't want to see him go up and fight Canelo Alvarez. I think that Crawford is more skilled than Canelo Alvarez, but I don't think that he can beat him at 168. And having a blown up 168 Terrence Crawford is not the fight that I want to see. If we can do it at a catch weight of like 162 or something like that, I would feel a little bit better. But I doubt that Canelo is willing to give any kind of leeway.
No way
to help Crawford in any way. Beat him. That's not going to happen.
Nah, there's no way. Yeah. Canelo with those weight clauses, they do it. He would only do it if it would help him. Yeah. He's not fighting at 162. And Messenger 215 says Bud shouldn't fight Canelo. I don't think he should either. But if he can get the money, I don't know. I'm just not really. We know Canelo's not fighting Benavidez, so he's still going to sell out arenas. He sold that place out with UFC having a fight like right across the street. He sold that arena out. Now the question is, did people buy the pay-per-view? I don't think they did, but he sold it out against a guy who didn't deserve it, Edgar Berlanga. So you're right. Like you said, he'll keep handpicking his opponents. He'll keep selling out arenas, and he'll keep making money.
But I'm confused as to who would be next. David, the only person that I see at 168 would be to fight either Plant again, which I don't necessarily care to see. I think Plant has kind of, I don't even think Plant has gotten better. I think it would be the same result. I think that Plant would do somewhat better. I actually had Plant ahead through 7 until that 8th, 9th, 10th round. I thought Plant did a good job. The best game plan that I've seen against Canelo has been that Plant fight. That was the last fighter that I've seen actually put together, but that plays directly into Canelo's weaknesses. Canelo does not want to fight slick fighters. He does not like fighters that are stick and move, right? And he can avoid shots. He doesn't like those type of fighters, because that means he has to move. He can't sit on his shots. He has to constantly move around and resetting. And a fighter like Canelo hates to have to reset. He will stand in the middle of the ring and kind of showboat and make you seem like you're the one who's running. But that's just a good game plan for somebody to walk in the ring and not allow Canelo to sit down on shots like Berlanga did, sitting on the ropes and just letting him tee off on him. It was just bothering the heck out of me. And I was listening. My mom pointed out when we were watching the fight. She was saying the corner isn't giving Berlanga any type of feedback at all. And
wait! Your mom was watching the fight?
Yeah, it was my mom, my cousin, my dad.
Shout out to your mom, man.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, exactly, man. She was. She loves boxing and UFC. I probably get all my my love for boxing from them. But yeah, they weren't giving them no type of advice or any type of coaching on what to do. I heard him leave the corner saying, "I see it. I see everything. I'm seeing it." I'm like, what exactly are you seeing? And if you're seeing it, because I think it was either the 9th round where he actually did what I thought that he should have did, was use that. I think he used the jab, many, many times and just kind of circling around. You got to at least flick it out there to at least get some level of respect. But he was letting Canelo just walk in very easily, didn't give him no resistance. They were leaning on each other. It was almost like a romance, comedy in that
Yeah.
ring. It's like, are we watching wedding planners, or are we watching a boxing match at this point?
Yeah.
So so it's just a poor game plan, poor execution, and we'll see that come out. I don't want to see McGee. I mean, the only fight that I'll be interested in seeing Berlanga fight is Magia, because I know Magia would win. I think it would just be a good fight just because of styles. I do think Magia would. I don't know if he would knock him out, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did. But a Plant Mungia would be cool. I wouldn't mind that. But I don't know who else Canelo fights in 168. I really don't.
No, there's not a fight besides Benavidez. There's not a fight that people really want to see. There just isn't. Christian and Billy is a all offense fighter, and he's going to make you work. I mean, he throws every shot as a home run. So I think it's tailor made for Canelo. But Canelo's 34. He's the kind of guy that Canelo wants to fight because he can counterpunch him, and Billy doesn't move.
Yeah.
But you're right. As far as fights that you're excited to see, I really don't see anybody besides Benavidez at 168 where you're saying, man, I can't wait to see Canelo fight this guy. And that's why I think it might be Bud, because Bud is Bud, and a lot of fans know who Bud is now. So that might happen because all these other fights, they're all they are, like you said, he'll be getting 30 to 40 million each fight, and they
Legacy
really
fights.
won't be competitive.
Legacy fights. This is legacy right here. This is for his kids. So,
Yeah, well, that legacy, but like his legacy as far as boxing, like it's even if he fought Benavidez and lost, it doesn't really matter now. But it's too bad it's not going to happen. I'm like you. I don't want to see. I'm a big Caleb Plant fan. I think he's an excellent fighter, but I don't want to see him fight Canelo again. Look, the IBF title is vacant, and I think he got he and McCumbee. It was for an interim belt, which I hate the interim belts. I don't know if it was IBF, but that's out there. So Caleb Plant might become champ again at 168. But I don't want to see him fight Canelo again. It just I don't. So what I'm curious to see is how many people actually bought this fight, and they never really give you numbers anymore. You used to get numbers. Now you get nothing. So I can't see people with the UFC. I'm not a UFC guy, but I'm sure that got a lot of buys. I can't see people paying $90 for the card. And the McCumbee fight was fun. The Lara Garcia fight was not fun, but everybody knew. No one thought that was going to be.
That should have been a card. Fight. That definitely should have been a card. I remember even before the fight started to happen, I was like, why are we putting Danny before Plant McCumbee? I don't know, because I just feel like Danny and Danny's been out for 2 years, and then Lara's not as of a name as Plant. I don't know. I just felt like that was not the correct order. I ended up missing the Rolly fight. I hope he didn't get knocked out.
I didn't see those either. Rolly won a decision.
Okay.
A wide decision, but Stephen Fulton got dropped, and it was a close decision. He like eked it out. He did not look good. He did not, and I didn't see it. I still have to watch it, but he did not look good.
Dang, and he's been out since the Inoue fight, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been at least a year and a half since that fight.
It maybe a year, but he did not look good. Okay. But the Danny Garcia, it was sad to see.
Yeah.
He just.
I hope he retires.
I think he will, because he's made a lot of money. he's not hungry to fight anymore.
I felt the same way. Yep.
I was in his camp before he fought Spence for about 2 weeks. I was working with Fox Sports. They did a 24/7 type show. I forget, I think it was called Fight Camp, something like that.
Yeah.
So I was in his camp for 2 weeks, and everything he did was like half speed. His sparring was half speed. When he was on the mitts, it was half speed. It was like he was going through the motions. I mean, every single day. And then when the fight came, I'm watching the fight, and I'm watching it, and I'm saying, he's fighting Errol Spence just the exact way he sparred with his sparring partners. So I know he's got a great family. He's made a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he doesn't need to fight anymore. And he's showing he doesn't want to fight anymore. That knockdown, come on, man. Erislandy Lara,
yeah,
dropping Danny Garcia, the way he went down,
yeah,
he just doesn't want to fight anymore.
And that ended the fight too. The way that I mean, I don't want to say. I mean, I wasn't in the ring and I didn't get hit with it, but it was a flick of a. It wasn't no stiff jab where he got rocked, right, coming in trying to throw a punch and got stopped on the way coming in, but. His dad knew, and we all kind of knew. You heard the boos. I think they respect Danny enough because they know he's gone through some mental things. And then they did applaud him. I hope he hangs it up, and I hope he starts a podcast talking about or something, where he's able to continue to be a part of boxing, because I think Danny is a well-spoken guy, and he has some really cool boxing knowledge. I think he can make that transition pretty easily. But I don't want to see Danny fight another person. It's almost like Keith Thurman as well. Like Keith has been out of the ring with injuries. Keith maybe got one good fight left in him, but I don't want to see Keith in there too much longer, if at all, because Keith, these guys they're getting up there in age, and they just don't look the same, nor do they have the same fight in them. So
I mean, they had their time. I mean, it's been. You got to go back to like 2013 for Danny Garcia's last really big win against Matisse. That's 11 years ago. He's 36, which now it doesn't seem like it's old, but he fought like he didn't. It looked like he didn't want to be there and didn't want to fight. So that was a sad way to see him go out. But you're right. That's why his dad stopped it, because his dad kept saying. I forget what round it was. He kept saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" So his dad could see it, that he wasn't doing anything. He didn't have a plan. He wasn't working. He wasn't hustling. So it was just a horrible matchup because he's just bad against southpaws. So it was just sad to see him go out like that. Look, at least he didn't take a beating, but to get dropped and stopped for the first time in your career, and no shade to Lara, but come on, man. To Lara, who can't punch, and now at 160, he's knocked out like 4 guys in a row. It wasn't a great end to his career, but careers gonna have to end, and if he fights, he'll get hurt if he fights some of these beasts at 154. He'll get hurt. So and he's made the thing. He has made good money, and he's been smart with his money. So hopefully he stops. But you never know. It's tough for these guys to stop. Like look at the guy I still haven't met. Still want to meet. Sugar Ray Leonard was, when I was a little kid, he was the man in boxing, and he made so much money. Yet he still kept coming back. He got his ass beat against Terry Norris, and a couple years later said, at 40 years old, I'm coming back again, and got his ass kicked by Hector Camacho, who wouldn't have touched him in his prime. And he had all the money in the world. So it's just tough for these guys to give it up. It's rare. The fighters that stop are the rare fighters. And maybe Garcia, he's pretty much stopped because he's fought like twice in like 6 years or something like that, and or 4 years. So maybe he'll stop.
I'll say this, and I'll jump off, but even like guys like Mayweather, and I'm hearing rumors of Manny Pacquiao coming back for these expedition fights. I'll be honest with you, I don't want to see Mike Tyson fight Jake Paul. I don't want to see any of these guys who actually have a shoe-in legacy boxing Hall of Fame guys either get knocked out. Roy Jones fighting. I forget who he fought for his expedition. I just don't want to see these guys. I hope they're not in need for money, right? You hope not, that they got a result to doing these things, because these guys are literally legends. I mean, I would probably say my boxing knowledge goes back as far as Roy Jones, Mike Tyson, Holyfield, right? That's when I began to understand and start watching boxing, because my family, that was huge back then. My first memory of boxing is when Mike Tyson bit Holyfield's ear. That's like my first memory of understanding boxing, watching around and screaming, like not really understanding what happened, but seeing that Mike Tyson was or Holyfield was pissed, and you see the bite marks in his ear. And I think I was like either like 6 or 7 when that was happening. So that's my earliest memory. I don't want to see Holyfield get in the ring. I don't want to see Mike Tyson get in the ring. So with Danny, he's a legend in the sport. 2-time division, multi-champion, multiple divisions. Walk away, Danny, with your money and your bread and your family and your memory, dog. So,
man, Tyson and Jake Paul. It's all about money. Netflix is the one that's going to win. They want to get subscribers. I went to the first press conference in Harlem. This is months ago, before it was postponed, and it was packed, and people were arguing like, if Mike Tyson hits him, he's gonna kill him, and people were saying, Jake Paul's young. They were arguing like it's a real fight, and it's not a real fight. It's not. But I'm with you. Like, I don't want to. But look,
can you imagine Tyson on the canvas, knocked out, man? Really, at 58?
To Jake Paul, but he's 58. So
I'm saying that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that. Is what I'm saying. I do not want to see.
But it's a business, and Netflix is not in the business of making fights. Netflix is in the business of getting subscribers and making money. So that's what they care about. And unfortunately, when the fight was first announced, if you go on YouTube, you would see people arguing about it like it was real.
Wow.
And there's enough casual sports fans. There's more casuals than there are like knowledgeable boxing fans. So those casuals, that's who they're gearing this toward.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's going to make it. Well, I guess it's going to make. I mean, it's going to get Netflix a ton of subscribers, and that's all they care about. They don't care about boxing. They don't care about the fight. They want to get subscribers, and they're going to do it.
How does that work? If you already have Netflix, and is it you also have to pay an additional fee, or
no?
How does that work?
No. There's unless they change it. This is not a pay-per-view. It is on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, you will see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. There's no, but for the people that don't have Netflix, they're trying to entice them, like, hey, get Netflix and you can see this. So, and Mike Tyson still, his name has magic, even though he's 58. I don't think it's gonna. They're saying it's gonna be a real fight, but they're saying it's 2 minutes. But boxing, boxing makes its own rules. That's why you can never take it seriously.
Yeah,
they're saying it's gonna be 2-minute rounds, but they're also saying that it will be a sanctioned fight. No, it won't. But anyway, I get your point.
Yeah.
But it's money, man. It's money,
Well, I don't know who fights next, or the next card, but I'm sure I'll be on your next stream, because I think the next big fight. I'm not sure. It might be Tank. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the next.
Well, next week, a week from now, it's AJ and Dubois.
Okay.
So, and I think, I don't even know. I'm guessing they're fighting in the UK. I don't
Okay.
even. I don't even know where they're fighting. So,
Yeah.
um,
I'm
if
not a
it's,
fan of DAZN in general, so anytime you say AJ or DAZN, I just kind of look and kind of ignore the other way. I actually felt disgusted when Boots went over to Matchroom because like literally hate watching a DAZN fight.
I get you. I
But
get it.
I mean, literally, Chris Maddox and Emmanuel Scotcho, I think that's what his name or whatever his name is. They only talk about DAZN fighters. They don't give an honest take. I don't want to hear those announcers ring commentators just talk about the other side. It's just annoying, and they don't honor both corners. I didn't just tune in just to hear Devin Haney speak. I also wanted to hear the opponent. So they don't play a fair game, and anybody who's watching that can clearly see it based on their coverage. They don't care about the fans. They don't care about how they do their broadcast. They just don't. It's poorly done, and it's only one-sided. They want their fighter to win, and they showcase their fighter throughout the entire thing. So you mentioned DAZN to me. That's like watching. I'd much rather go fishing with my dad.
Thank you. Everything you say, you just said, I've said. Their production is terrible, but
Yeah.
so be it. But that's next week.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch it just because it's a heavyweight championship fight. But
Okay.
yeah, man, jump on. I'll be on sometimes during the week, but jump in, man. Jump in whenever I'm on.
Of course. Thank you, George. I appreciate it, man, and appreciate
All
your
right, brother.
lives as always.
Hey, and shout out to your mom, who's a boxing fan. I respect that. I love hearing that.
Oh yeah. I'll let her know.
All right,
brother.
Yep, man. Shoot, it's 1:37 in the morning. Man, I got to get out of here soon. But I don't know. Not much more to say. Canelo was dominant. Caleb Plant knocked out McCombie. Danny Garcia probably had the last fight of his career. So, see perceptions. I don't know what happened to your audio before, brother, but hopefully next time get you in. Look, $90 for this card. I wouldn't have paid for it, and I'm sure a lot of people didn't pay for it, but so be it, man. Canelo wins again, defends his 3 belts, gets a decision over Edgar Berlanga, and makes $30-40 million, and 20,000 people filled the arena. So there it is. So I'm out of here, man. It's 1:38 in the morning, but appreciate everybody who dropped in. Look, it's always good to have anybody. I don't start these lives until I see at least one people, because when you do this on StreamYard, you can see how many people are watching live. And I run a 30-second countdown, and when I ran it the first time, nobody was in. So for me, I had like 25-30 people, which, look, I just appreciate talking boxing with anybody who's out there. But stay safe. It's 1:40 in the morning. I'm going to bed. Everybody in my house is asleep. But Canelo, viva Mexico, cabrones. Peace.